Hello and welcome to A Trek for Change. I am Andy Bryan. Some of you may know me already. I've been helping Wayne out with A Trek for Change, and I'm delighted to be talking with him today at his, well, you could say, first waypoint. So it's going to be a pleasure to talk to him about where he is today, what he's been up to over the past few days, and also what he will be doing over the next week, the week ahead. So really looking forward to chatting to him today. If you have any questions or comments, please use the hashtags on Google Plus or on Twitter, which is hashtag A Trek for Change, and we'll answer any questions or comments you have throughout the show. And please feel free to post Wayne some comments, because he's really looking forward to interacting and engaging with you. You can also use that hashtag A Trek for Change on Twitter, and we will, as I said, interact and engage with you throughout the show today. So I'm going to move it over straight to Wayne and ask Wayne, tell us a bit more about your trek and how the past few days have gone.
Hey, Andy. Well, it's been busy. This is the second day, so today is the second day of the trek and my second night, so to speak. I'm not pushing myself too hard this first week or first 2 weeks, really, because I want to give my body the time that it needs to continue to build as I have added just a little bit more weight onto the bike and into the trailer since I've been training. And I don't want to get too far away from home the first 2 or 3 nights, because I want an opportunity to be able to go and get something or call for backup or for help if I need it. But so far I haven't had to have any major help. Yesterday I rode from our county seat, Ashland, Alabama, to Talladega, which is about 35 miles is what I ended up riding. I stayed at this awesome Talladega Creekside Resort. If you're from Alabama and you're from this area, I would highly recommend that you go and check out that resort. It's a small campground with cottage-type cabins. You can rent kayaks and inner tubes and float the Cheehaw Creek. It's a spring-fed creek. You can go swimming there. They've got horseshoes, and I mean, you name it. It's just a beautiful little place. And so I stayed there, and Becky, my girlfriend, she was able to come and meet with me that night. We actually did run into Talladega to pick up some additional supplies that I knew I was going to need. We went into Talladega, picked up some supplies, came back to the campground. She stayed with me overnight. I left about 6 o'clock this morning or so, and rolled up to Southside, which is close to Gadsden, Alabama. Again, if you're familiar with this area, you'll know that Southside's right on the lake. And I'm staying here with a buddy of mine, Kevin Gray. Kevin Gray is the bike mechanic for Gadsden Outfitters, who also there's a sign right there, so GadsdenOutfitters.com. But I'm on Kevin's front porch. I'm staying with him tonight, doing a load of laundry, getting a warm shower, you name it. But more importantly, we have internet. And so we wanted to take this opportunity to really share with you what I've been up to, what's going on today in the last couple of days, and then what's going to be happening in the future. So maybe, Andy, we can cover that with a map if they'd like to hear that.
Definitely. We can obviously have a look at the map. I was just showing them the map as we were going through. Actually, there's a map that you can see there on the right hand side. I'm looking at Lake Whitland at the moment. So you've gone through there already, have you?
Yeah. Well, I went down through, but where I'm staying is right next to the lake at my second waypoint there, the dot on the map. So really, anybody that wants to go and take a look at the maps, just know that the webpage, A Trek for Change, or aworldforchange.com/A Trek for Change, there's a map at the bottom of that page. And if you go and look at that map, it's the general overall map from East Alabama all the way to California. And it has some of the major waypoints along the way, but it doesn't have every single night that I'm stopping. So the map that, Andy, I think you're sharing right now is the map of basically the first week and a half or so. And it has some of those individual stops that I'm making. And I'm doing about an average of 30 miles a day for the first week. I've got quite a bit of weight on the bike. That's one of the questions I get asked when I stop to rest and when I talk to someone. I ran into a couple of cyclists today at a gas station when I was rehydrating, and they were wanting to know how much weight I was hauling. And honestly, I don't know. I've measured it, or I've weighed it as best as I can. I think that my whole rig is somewhere around 100 pounds. It might be a little bit more than that. And when you get that much weight on a bike, man, it's hard to move, and it's top heavy, but it's a beautiful thing and it's fun. And in all honesty, with the weather the way it's been up to the heat index of 105 degrees around here during the day, Fahrenheit, I've been riding in the mornings. And so I've been getting up early riding in the mornings. And just like today, I got here to Kevin's house by 10 o'clock this morning. So I know it wasn't a lot of miles, but it was about 25 miles today, 35 yesterday. But there's a few reasons why I wanted to stop here. He's a bike mechanic, so if I was having any issues with my bike, again, before I head out, we can fine tune it and work on it together. Secondly, he had a helmet mirror that Gadsden Outfitters is sponsoring, and so he wanted to set me up with the helmet mirror before I head out to California and continue out of the state. And then it's great to hang out with like-minded individuals, people who really do get it, understand the value of cycling, and it's not just a sport. It's something that can be utilized as a tool, and that's what cycling should be. It shouldn't just be a leisure activity. It can be, but cycles and bikes need to be a tool that we use in our daily lives to haul things and to run to the stores and to go to church. However, the reason why I've moved so much weight onto the bike and I don't have much weight in the trailer is because of the accident I had 6 weeks ago. The goal here is that I found out, I learned the lesson the hard way, but I had my trailer loaded wrong and not enough weight loaded on the bike, which caused the accident. So this time around, we're hoping that we can do okay. Another question and comment that I had was the trailer. I had made quite a bit of modifications to the trailer. I made the tongue that's on the trailer to mount up on the back side of the bike up here under the seat, and it mounts on the rack. And then that tongue has all been made by hand, with a welder and grinder. And it also allowed me to mount the solar panels and basically build mounts that will hold the solar panels on the top of the trailer. And what I noticed after I did all this was that the center of gravity on the trailer was still so high that it caused some stability issues. So I went ahead and lowered the back end of the trailer about 3.5 inches or so, maybe even more. Excuse me. So I've lowered the back end of the trailer and the front end of the trailer, which makes the trailer be more like a basket hanging from a handle with the center of gravity lower, and it really has helped out the handling. So I'm hoping that this trailer will make it to California. Another question I had based on, now if you guys don't follow me on some of my social media platforms, on all of them, you're going to be missing out because I don't share the same thing to every social media platform. I shared a picture on Facebook last night talking about the Luminade light that I have. It's a blow-up inflatable solar light. And I've had it for quite a while. It's not a sponsored product, but I just flat out love this light because it's so compact. It folds up to be about that thin and, 6 inches long, 5 inches long, about 2.5 inches wide. And I just have it hanging up on the bike when I'm going down the road during the day, and I've got light at night. And it had holes that were punctured in it just from wear and tear. It might have been from the accident when I first had my accident. And so I used this Tenacious tape. Now, the Tenacious tape is a product that's made by GearAid. GearAid is a sponsor of A Trek for Change. They've provided Tenacious tape, field repair kits, a field sewing kit, and another field repair kit of some kind. It's for rubber repair, and the tenacious tape has come in handy already, and I used it on the Illuminate Light. The question about tenacious tape is, how's it compared to duct tape? And I'll say this: duct tape breaks down in the heat and the sun, gets real slimy and sticky, and the surface kind of wipes off, and then you've got the goo left on whatever it was stuck to. This tenacious tape, as far as I can tell, doesn't seem to do that. So I haven't used it long enough to give more of an educated answer on that. That's the main set of questions that I did want to cover. I know I have some more in here, but that's the main set of questions, the comments and questions on Facebook. Are you able to hear me okay, Andy?
Yeah, I can hear you okay. Apologies, the internet connection has been a bit up and down tonight. I think we have been experiencing a bit of a stormy weather recently, and I think it's having an effect on the internet and what's going on here. So apologies. We will do our best to be with you. And is there any more questions that you had that popped up that you wanted to mention, Wayne?
Yeah, it's not a question, but it's a comment that made me think of something. I've been communicating with other Alabama natives, and they were wanting to know when I was going to kick the trek off again. And my full intention from the day that I had the accident was to go back to the site of the accident, take off from there, and continue on the trek exactly how I had it planned. But it took a lot longer for me to heal up than I wanted it to, or than I ever anticipated. And as a result of that, we decided that because it's later in the season, it would be prudent to think about cutting off as many miles as we could. And it might even get to the point where it doesn't make sense to go through the mountains in Colorado because of the snow out west in August and the beginning of September. So I don't know how it's going to play out when we get out that way. But what I would suggest is if you have some ideas of places in mind that you think that I should stop and film or include in the Trek for Change, go to aworldforchange.com/a trek for change. That's the website. Go to that website, and there's a place where you can apply to be a waypoint. And even if you don't want me to stop by your homestead or your sustainable business and film, and maybe it doesn't make sense, you might know of somebody in a specific area, or you might know of an attraction or a sustainable business or a sustainable government entity. For example, the Longmont Community Justice Partnership is up close to Denver, north of Denver, Colorado, and they would be an organization that I would like to go and see. I just don't know if the time will allow it because we're so much later in the season. So I would encourage anybody who's viewing this video to go and apply to become a waypoint, even if you're not in the area, or suggest somebody who is in the area and who you know would benefit from having me stop by and including them on the trek. And so that's one thing I definitely wanted to cover. So I'm sorry that I'm not restarting over south of Sylacauga in Alabama. And that's everything that I wanted to, in particular, that's everything I wanted to cover.
Excellent, that's perfect. And as you were going through that, I was showing people the website, some of the waypoints you'll be following over the next week. So yeah, as Wayne said, if you did want to apply to become a waypoint, obviously you can do that by requesting Wayne to stop by, as you can see on the website just there. And all you need to do is fill in the form, and obviously Wayne will go back to you, won't you? So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll definitely get back to you. I'm still taking sponsorships as well, so it's not something that I'm pushing right now. I have most everything I need. However, when I get out west, I'm going to need a better sleeping bag. I don't see any reason to carry a big, heavy, insulated sleeping bag right now. I mean, there's just no reason for me to burn my body out like that. So I've got a lightweight fleece one that's fine for this climate that I'm in. Um, I'm going to need some kind of warm clothing to wear when I'm out there. Again, there's no reason to pack all that weight with me. So there is a need for additional sponsorships in certain areas. You can apply to become a sponsor right on the website. So if you, again, or if you're a business owner or a part of the marketing team of an organization who has products that you know would benefit me, and you are a business that cares about the environment, and you do want to promote yourself as a sustainable organization, get with me and we'll talk about it and we'll see if it makes sense. So that's really how I've been approaching every one of the sponsorships that I work with.
Excellent. As I said, that's absolutely perfect. Is there any last things you want to mention before we tune out for today?
Not that I can think of. I mean, I'm ready to go inside and sit in the AC for a little bit. I'm working on a video. As soon as I get off here, I'll go inside and work on the first Trek video. And I'm excited to release that. So as soon as I have it uploaded, and I will notify all of you, please sign up for the private email from me, and you can do that right on the Trek webpage. You can sign up to receive emails. I notify everybody of live events like this one ahead of time, and I notify you all of where I'm going and some of the waypoints, etc., all through that email list. And again, that's very private. That's from me, and it's uber confidential. It's not going anywhere. So I hope that can be a service and really help to connect us in a time where I may not have the ability to connect otherwise, but I could probably communicate by email. So feel free to email me back, and we'll start a conversation.
Excellent. Well, thanks again, Wayne, for sharing your Trek for Change. We are in the early days of your trek, and I'm really looking forward to finding out what you're going to learn along the trek and along your journey. It's going to be incredible, full of ups and downs, I imagine, but it's going to be all worth it, isn't it? So. Yeah,
it is. I mean, it's going to be. It's like I told Becky, my girlfriend. I said, I emotionally, I'm a guy. I can handle this. I can handle being away from you, and I can do it. But mentally and physically, it's going to be a bear. I mean, it's not going to be easy, and nobody suggests that it would be.